Hello, my name's Nicole, and I'm one of the instructors on Daily Ritual. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about the cervical spine and our natural curves because this month on Daily Ritual we're focusing on the spine. I decided to sort of choose this point because I think the cervical spine is often overlooked. I mean, we all know about um, this, reading our phones, looking at our iPads, being on our computer, and doing those type of things, which what that does, if you want to take a look at the back of my neck, creates a lengthening. Well, it's nice for a little bit of a lengthening stretch. When we put our head in eyes on the horizon and have that natural curve, the curve of the neck, the thoracic, and then the curve into our lower lumbar, that's like our body's natural position. You know, we want to find length through the belly, and we want to keep those curves while finding like a radiant heart and lift. But what we want to do is keep this curve natural. And I'm just going to face the back so you can sort of see there. So if I do this and I drop my chin, this all goes straight. If I put my chin and eyes on the horizon and then press my head back into my hand, you can see that little hollowing through the center, and that's the muscles on either side of the cervical spine. And what that's doing is finding that engagement so that we can find that strength, and that little gentle resistance allows us to, like I said, create that strength. So a lot of the moves that we do on daily practice, we have our hands to either side of our heads, we have it on the top. And what we're doing is to find resistance through our arms so that we can find the muscles and find the true engagement through the posterior and anterior of all of our parts. We kind of want to do the same here. A lot of the times, if we just allow, like if I push my head into my hand, but I have my head down, it's a straightening of this natural curve. And while it's nice, like I said, to have movement in it, when we go to do anything, we want to find that engagement. And so, enough talking, let's do a little bit of moving. I want to focus on some of the things that we can do to find that engagement in some of the movements that we do. I'm going to do some sort of kneeling and some standing, and a lot of them will be similar moves, but when we stand, there's different focuses. When we're on our knees, there's different focuses. And then when we're on our back and we can allow the ground to be that, I want you to start out as you do this, if this is new to you. And I always suggest this, start at 10%. So hands, find that strength in the hands, allow your head to press back into the hands, focus more on around the neck because we're quite strong and I think we're unaware of that. Focus on pressing the head into the hands or the head into the floor to find that resistance. And as your neck muscles get stronger, you'll be able to find more resistance in the hands. But for now, just mostly find the activation in the hands when we do these, creating little pockets so that you're finding that engagement through the arms, but allow your head to be the instigator so that you're not stressing or overworking your neck. Because as soon as you start to overwork that, then the shoulders and everything can get involved. So focus just a little bit on starting out with 10%. And then as your neck can get stronger, you can go forward. So let's start standing. Put my block to one side. So as we do this, let's just take a nice wide stance and just start to move the ribs from side to side. Just wake up the spine. Allow the heart to move forward and the hips to root back. That allows that lower lumbar. Wake up the side body. You can allow the head to move from side to side. Just bring that awareness into the spine. You can even let the head drop And just feel the difference as you allow it to drop. Allow the heart and ribs to expand in all directions. And we'll keep this wide stance. Let's take the big toe, hook it back, press the feet down and out, push the knees forward, root the hips back. And to start out, just take 2 horseshoe holds onto your thighs. And I want you to reach the hips back, reach the heart forward, and your heart moves forward and up, and the crown moves forward and up. Eyes on the horizon. Find that length equally on all sides of the neck. And then just find a little pulse up and down. Just notice the neck. Focus on, as we expand our ribs in all directions, doing the same thing through the throat. Just imagine that lengthening. Shoulders are going to go out, almost like a coat hanger. And just find that length. And we're going to take the right hand to the right side of the head. Find that little dome. Find engagement through the fingers in the hand. Take the left hand. And you're going to allow the shoulders to melt away from the ears as you press your head back into the hands. Find that engagement. Maybe take the left hand and just feel to see that you've got that gentle engagement on both sides of the cervical spine. And we're just going to find some belly lengtheners. Elbows and forearms are going to lift towards the sky as you press your head back into your hands, allowing the shoulders to melt away. Find that gentle pulse. And then when you find length through the middle, allow the ribs to tick-tock from side to side while keeping the head pressing back into the hands, finding the engagement through the fingers, engagement through the hands. And just notice that length. One of the things that you can do with that thumb is you can place it here on the base of the skull and almost allow it to help lift. Find that lightness through the whole spine while keeping those natural curves that allow just a little bit more mobility. And then let's step the feet in and allow the arms to come down. Find that gentle pulse, hips root back, knees push forward, eyes on the horizon. And this time, I want you to take the 2 hands, one on top of the other. So I'm going to do right over left, and you can see my shoulders right away kind of started to come up. So as you place them, allow the shoulders to melt away, and you're going to push up into the hands so you can find that length. And just notice the difference when you do that to when you do that. We'll come back to that, but I just want you to feel that lifting, focusing on the crown of the head going forward and up to find that length. And then as the hands find that engagement through the side. So we're going to find the pulse again. Head presses back into the hands, shoulders melt away from the ears. Find a gentle pulse. Feet press down and out. Keeping the hollows in the front of the ankles, the back of the knees, and the hips. And then find that crescent from left to right. Long through the center, then up and over towards the right. Hips stay rooting back. You can find a gentle pulse as you move. Shoulders stay melting. Head stays pressing. And then we'll allow the arms to come down. Let's take that wide stance again and just allow a little bit movement again. So a lot of the times when we start this, pressing the head back into the hands, we can take a lot of it through our shoulders or through our traps. So if you start to feel a little bit fatigued and maybe feel those shoulders creeping up, focus a little bit more on the technique And allow the shoulders to just come down. Give them a little shimmy. And then see if you can find that engagement through the fingers, the hands, the arms, and let those shoulders melt away. We're going to move down to the floor now. So let's hinge at the hips, walk 2 little dimes forward. And even as we do this, so just be aware that my tendency, something I really focus on, is again, the crown reaches forward towards the front of the mat, neck expanding in all directions. Fill through the back part, broaden, and then allow the hands to come down. Step each foot back, and we're going to come down onto our knees, filling through the back heart, and untuck the toes. Press the top of the feet into the floor, find that little hollow, and you can see the hips get rooted back, knees press into the earth and out, heels draw together, find that activation. And then let's rotate the elbows out, fingers grip the floor, hands active, elbows turn out. Just find some pulses and focus on the crown reaching forward. Eyes can look towards the front of the mat. And I want you to imagine like you're peering over a cliff so that you can find that length through all sides of the neck. Find that engagement through an imaginary resistance. Imagine that my hand is there pushing and giving resistance for there. All right, so next time the hips come back, we're going to take the right hand, find the engagement in the left, and take your hand to the top of the head again. And as you do this, I want you to engage the fingertips, engage the palm. Left elbow turns out, find that strength, use your hips, and you're going to reach the elbow and the forearm forward and press your hand just to give a little resistance, just keeping it in place, and then push your head into the hands and just feel that gentle activation. And then we're going to add the rib. So next time the hips go back, reach the heart forward, press the head into the hand, and then we're going to tip. So as we do that, the ribs are going to lead and push towards the right as the left ear tips over the left arm. And we keep that resistance of the head into the hand as we find that gentle tip. And then place the hand back to the mat. Allow a little bit of freedom of movement. Let the ribs tick-tock. You can let go of the head. As you start to find this engagement, you may find that certain parts of your body become more tired that you weren't aware of. So just pay attention to what your body's telling you. And again, ease off. Don't stop, but ease off. And then try it again. Little pulses through the center. Full heart, expanding in all directions. Crown reaches forward, peering over a little cliff. Keeping the neck nice and long. See if you can find that engagement without the resistance of your hand. And then we'll take the hips back. Take the left hand forward and then to the crown of the head. And again, allow the shoulder to melt away as you reach the heart forward, head presses into the hand. And again, we're not trying to do a back bend here. It's more reaching the forearm and the elbow forward as you find that resistance and the head presses into the hand. So the head reaches forward and slightly up just to find a little engagement. Right elbow turns out. Hips are back, and then let's crescent up and over. Left rib cage reaches over, head still presses into the hand, hips stay tapped back. Right elbow turns out. Gentle little tips. And then left hand down. And let's just allow a little bit of rippling through the spine. Filling through, allowing the head to relax forward. And then activating the feet to allow the hips to draw back. And just take this nice and slow and just put your awareness into your spine. Hips root back. Ripple forward one more time. And then find that beautiful base. Top of the feet press into the floor. Find the hollow in the ankle. Knees press down and out. Hips root back. Heels draw together. Elbows turn out. Find that broadness. And we're going to root the hips back. And we're going to come into little domes. And then we're going to slowly just come back so that we can come and sit back on our knees. If you have a block, feel free to put that between your knees. And just take a moment to arrive here. Find a little tick-tock of the ribs from side to side. Just listening, checking in with the body, and just seeing what you feel sort of in this moment. And then let's find some stillness. Lift and separate the butt. Just kind of check in with the feet. You want to try and keep as much of the top of the foot on the floor, but find that little ankle switch so that we can find the activation in the feet so that it's not our upper body, it's our whole body that's doing it. So let's let those big, strong muscles of the glutes and the thighs, and then just hover the hips forward. And let's find that gentle pulsing that we had before with the horseshoe hold. Crown reaches forward and up, allowing that natural curve. Again, imagine that the hand is on the back of the head and see if you can feel that engagement through the cervical spine. Just imagine my hands there. And then let's reach two soft fists forward and find that length. Press the hands down, hips root back, heart reaches. And then let's sweep the hands back to either side of the head. Find the gripping action in the little cups, little pockets in the hand to either side of the head. And again, let's take our thumb low so that we can assist that lengthening through the back of the neck. Just a gentle lift. Find the engagement, and we're going to press the head back into the hands as the thumbs help to lift. The forearms and the elbows reach to the sky, allowing the belly to spill forward. Just finding that openness through the belly, the heart, and the throat. And again, you may be able to do a bit of a back bend, but just be where you're at and focus on the neck. Focus on the shoulders melting away. Focus on the tops of the feet, the hips rooting back. And then allow yourself to come back and sit. Let the arms come down. And just kind of move the head around. And just notice, does your neck, shoulders, traps, is there anywhere that you're feeling a tightness? I know that when I started doing this practice, for me, it was like my shoulders tried to do all the heavy lifting. So really, if you're feeling tight through the shoulders, just take a moment. You can even put your hands on your shoulders, but just allow the shoulders to go out. Allow the rib cage to expand in all directions. And see if you can find that length. Again, the crown reaches forward and up, eyes on the horizon, or if they're closed, just keeping the gaze maybe open but just low, just for a sec if you wish. And we're going to activate again. So heart forward, activate through the feet, press into the hands, find the length through the belly, find that lower lumbar, find that upper thoracic, fill through the back ribs, reach the hands forward, sweep them back, find length through the belly, little pulses, up, and then let's crescent over towards the left, over towards the right, just back and forth. Again, focusing on Pressing the hand back into the head, or the head back into the hand, and just crescenting from side to side. And then have a seat again. All right, we're going to move off the block so you can put that to the side or pillow or whatever you use. And we're going to go into our hands and feet. And so this is one of the places that, like I said, I often struggled with my shoulders coming up to my ears. So to really reinforce that strength and that lightness, let's find that radiant heart. Find the armpit hollows, activate them by turning the elbows out, turn on the fingers, turn on the hands, fill and broaden, and reach the crown forward and out. We're going to untuck the toes, and I want you to just hover the knees and keep that, and then lift the hips and reach forward. Just a couple of pulses, heels pressed towards the floor. Fill and broaden. And then allow the knees and the toes to turn to the left to come down onto the right hip. Place the left hand in front of your heart, reach the right, and allow the head to go, the ribs, and come down onto your side. And we're going to roll right onto the back. Just let me take my hair knob out of the place. And as we do, I want you to allow the hands to be above and use the head, the heart, and hips. And just make your way onto the mat. Move your hair if you have to. And I want you to focus on the back of the neck here. So let's see if we can allow the ears to tip back so that the throat can be open and we can feel that natural curve. So just feel that, how easy it is to find that hollowing through the center, right where the spine is, and those two ridges of muscles on either side. So just that little activation of gently pressing, again, 10% to start, you can see that that hollow becomes quite defined as the muscles become engaged. So as we do that, instead of lifting the chin, I want you to focus on letting the ears tip back and applying gentle pressure to where your head meets the floor, and two soft fists to the sky. And I want you to focus on keeping that open throat, keeping that gentle pressure, keeping the ears tipping back. And we'll find some soft fists and allow the thumb to press down. Find a little hollow in the back of the wrist as the pinky draws towards the forearm. And just open up into a little bit of a V. Being mindful, once you've got that, keep the neck active, and we're just going to create some movement with our legs. Just bringing it up to square leg, maybe flexing the foot, but focusing on the neck. Keeping that strength and length, allowing the lower lumbar to stay curved, filling through the back arc. You can feel your thoracic filling and broadening as we broad our arms out. As soon as we start to move our feet or do things with our arms, this can start to happen. Not only is it not super flattering, it also puts a lot of strain on your neck. Our head is heavy, and when we jut in like that, it creates that straightness. So again, when you're lying on your back, just allow the ears to gently tip back so we can keep that beautiful open throat, and we can find that engagement. All right, let's bring both our legs into square leg. Find that engagement through the feet, flexed, soft toes. And we're going to reach the hands forward towards the top of the mat, hands pressing out and up. Find that engagement, and then push the feet away. Again, as we add these little things, these are just little distractions that we're doing that we're going to be focusing on maybe in other classes. But what I want you to focus on, maybe do a little bicycle And just keep the focus on the spine, allowing the ears to tip back, the throat to stay open, and then place the paws to the ground. Allow yourself to give yourself a hug. Just lift the shoulders up and place them back down to find that broadness. And then let's let each leg go long, keeping the throat open. And just find a little rock. Allow the heels to connect. Just give yourself a little shimmy. And we're going to end this just with a little bit of massage. A lot of the times we try to feel things, and I think it's important to really focus on finding that engagement. So I always find it a little bit more strengthening for me. You can keep your legs long, or you can bring them up wide, allow the knees to connect, and just work your hands up and down that cervical spine. And I create like this little massaging thing happening. So just allow that to kind of happen. And just gently work down towards the base where the traps meet and walk your hands back up. And then allow the left hand to kind of work into the traps as they come into the neck. Just giving a little love there. Allowing the right hand to support the elbow so that you're not actually creating any tension in that trap. And then reverse just to kind of hold it in place so that you don't have to work. And then we're going to roll back onto our side. Push, allow the ribs and the head to come up last. And just sit back for a sec. A lot of the times when we try to find that engagement and strength, we end up other parts of our body that are stronger already try to take over. So just be mindful as you try new ways of moving, or you work on finding that engagement through the cervical spine as you find the engagement through the hands and all the other places.